Commissioner Galassi.
Here.
Commissioner Jackson.
Right here.
Commissioner Tainer. Commissioner McNerney. Vice Chair Matsuno. And Chair Caldwell.
Here. Thank you very much. And if Commissioner Galassi, if you could lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance.
Absolutely. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America,
for which
and
it
for which it stands,
one nation,
under
under God,
God,
Indivisible,
indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you very much. That brings us to item D, approval of the order of the agenda. Is there a motion or any recommendation to move anything on the agenda?
I'll make a motion.
Do we have a second?
I'll second that motion.
All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Then we shall move to the blue folder items. And I know that some materials were emailed out earlier today. So I did receive that email. I believe there's 2 letters, or I guess 2 emails, and then also photos as well.
Correct. So actually you had 3 emails. There were 2 emails from adjacent property owners and then a response from the applicant and then the before and after photos.
Okay. I don't know if I got the 3rd one, but I did print them. So I will go through those. But everybody else received them as well?
Yes.
Okay.
If you could please make a motion to receive and file the blue folder items, that would be great.
Is there a motion?
I'll make a motion.
I'll
Yeah.
second.
Thank you very much. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Passes. The consent calendar, we do have 2 items on our consent calendar. F1, approve the affidavit of posting for the Preservation Commission regular meeting of September 7th, 2022, as well as F2, the approval of the minutes of the Preservation Commission regular meeting of July 6th, 2022. I would entertain a motion to approve both items unless any commissioner has any comments.
I do. So on the minutes of the last meeting, I was listed as having seconded 2 motions, except I wasn't here. So that needs to be changed.
Okay,
So
thank
that
you.
was F2, and I think on page 3, the motion to adopt the resolution.
Thank you.
And I think typically we would pass those with the edits, but seeing as how I don't have any recollection as to who made the second on those, should we wait till next month to
Yes,
the next meeting? Okay,
because the proper individual should be called out.
okay. Then is there a motion on F1?
I make a motion that we approve it.
Is there a second?
I'll second that motion.
Okay, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. So F1 does pass, and we'll bring back F2 at our next meeting. Item G is excluded consent calendar items. I don't believe we have any, is that correct?
That's correct.
And then that would bring us to the public participation on the non-agenda items. Do we have any public participation?
We do not.
Okay. Well, then I'll move to ex parte communications.
I'm sorry. We do have one attendee.
Okay,
Let me see if he would like to speak. His name is Jason Oldenburg. If you would like to speak, please raise your hand.
He's actually one of the owners for the public hearing item.
Okay. Thank you. And there are no e-comments at this time. Thank you.
okay. And then let the record show that our vice chair is here before the action items or the primary item that we're here today. So thank you very much, Commissioner Matsuno. And that brings us to our public hearings. And we do have one public hearing under J1. It is a public hearing for consideration of designation of the building as a local historic landmark pursuant to Chapter 4, Title 10 of the Redondo Beach Municipal Code for the property located at 624 Emerald Street. And I do believe that we would need a motion to enter into, or do we do the oath prior? I always,
We should probably double check if there were any ex parte communications, right?
oh, I apologize. Were there any ex parte communications?
None.
Now would be the time to report those. I have not.
And then now we can do the audience oath and then the motion for the public hearing.
Excellent. Well, for those that would be willing to participate in this next public hearing, if you could please stand up and we'll administer the oath. And again, my understanding is we have somebody online that would also like to participate in this.
Yes, you
So-
have the one owner present and one owner, I guess, online.
Okay, and if he would like to provide some testimony as well, if he wouldn't mind proving the oath, do each of you swear or affirm that the testimony you shall give shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth? And if we can confirm the gentleman,
I do.
Thank you very much. Then this is the time and place to conduct a public hearing to consider item J1. Is there a motion to open the public hearing?
I'll motion.
A second?
Okay, with a motion and a second have been made to open the public hearing. Are there any objections? Then hearing none, it shall be so ordered, and we shall allow staff for the presentation.
Yes. Laura, if you could turn it over to the presentation screen, please. There we go. This is a request for a landmark designation for the property located at 624 Emerald Street. The property is located on the south side of Emerald Street, just east of South Francisca Avenue. The site is zoned R3 multifamily residential and is about 3,200 square feet in size. The house is approximately 841 square feet. In our city survey, it's listed as a C-rated craftsman bungalow built around 1908. The city survey also calls out the 600 block of Emerald Street as a potential historic district. The character defining features for the structure include the covered entry porch facing the street. You see the vertical and horizontal wood siding as well as the wood trim around the openings. There are also wood windows as well as gable roof elements with exposed rafter ends. These are all classic features of a small craftsman home. Even though it's C-rated within the survey, it's probably closer to the B-rated structures we see throughout the city. The owners did add decorative shades over the bathroom windows for privacy, although those were added on the exterior and probably could be easily removed without ruining the integrity of the structure. And at some point, probably when it was originally constructed, that front entry porch may have been full width. However, I'll show you in the photos how there's a portion that is enclosed. So here's that north-facing street elevation. You can see the covered porch, you can see the prominent gable roof element, you've got the attic vent, those knee braces, and then you've got vertical siding along the top, and you can see the horizontal wood siding along the bottom third of the building like a skirt that wraps around the entirety of the structure. You can see those decorative shades on the right-hand side. Here's a closer look. That might have been enclosed, though our permit records are not complete and don't call that out. Apparently, it was originally a reading room. Now it's a bathroom. And again, those privacy screens, the way that they're constructed, they can probably be removed without damaging the integrity and shape and form. Here's the west elevation along the driveway. You can see that the siding feeds through on all elevations of the structure. We always aim for four-sided architecture, and you have that here. You can see that privacy screen on the other bathroom. And then the south rear elevation facing the rear yard mirrors much of what you see along the front elevation. Earlier this year, the Planning Division processed a request for the original garage to be converted into an accessory dwelling unit. per state legislation that is required to be ministerial. Thus, we have to administratively process it. But you can see here, the garage will be converted and slightly expanded, but it will maintain the gable roof element and also have vertical siding. The siding will be fiber cement, so it won't be wood to match the house. But as a new structure and as an ADU, our job as staff is to at least verify that it will not detract from the main residence and be compatible to the potentially historic structure. Per the LA County Assessor, this home was built in 1908. Our permit history reflects a house-to-house inspection in the late 70s. This confirmed that there was a residence and a detached garage at the rear. The current owners took over the property and remodeled the kitchen and bathrooms last year. So we have permits on file for that. And then they're processing for permits for the ADU. It's been approved by the Planning the Planning Division, but they have not commenced construction yet. So as you can see, the building is approximately 114 years old, but well-maintained and in excellent condition. Roger and Helen Foley lived at the site around 1927. Mr. and Mrs. Leon Farley were there in 1929. By 1936, Esther Wilson was listed as a resident, and then Nellie Atkins was there at least from 1947 to 1952. I searched through the city directories and our Redondo Reflex newspapers, and none of the previous owners appear to have local prominence. You can see that the building exhibits all the classic features of a small craftsman home, which is the most prevalent historic architectural style within the city. Should the commission determine that this property meets the criteria for designation, we suggest that it be labeled the Foley House for the earliest known residents. Here are the criteria from the municipal code. This house was built when the city was a thriving resort with a growing residential community for working class families. And with the style of architecture, the craftsman bungalow being the most prominent style within the city, we feel that is architecturally significant. If the Preservation Commission finds that the application meets the criteria, then staff suggests that you adopt the exemption declaration and approve the landmark designation for the property located at 624 Emerald Street. As noted previously, the owner is present and available to speak, and I also have additional photos that I can share regarding the work that they've done to the site.
Would it be appropriate to see the photos first, or?
I can share them right now. So this is the front elevation. Obviously, you can see the paint really brings out the features of the structure, but the main form of the structure remains the same. This is the kitchen remodel towards the rear of the building. Here's the front living room. Here's the bathroom. Here's the front bedroom. And you can see this is the part of the front porch that became a bathroom. It already had plumbing in it, even though it was previously a reading room. So then when they processed for permits for last year, it was appropriately converted to a bathroom. Here's the other bedroom. And then this is the rear yard. And here's the garage. And I believe that's it.
Well, thank you very much. I believe now would be the opportunity to receive public input. Would those in favor please step forward to the microphone, give your name and address for the record, and I don't believe they need to sign in, but share with us what you'd like.
Hi, my name is Flavia from Oldenburg, and we are the owners of the 624 Emerald Street. And we bought this house last year, August last year, so it has been a year. And the house was in really poor shape, very dirty, and we just fell in love with the home, and it's a beautiful house. My husband is a contractor, so, which allowed us to do the job that you just saw in the pictures. We could have just tear the house apart and just build something new, but that's not what we wanted to do. And we just really want the house to stay in the neighborhood and the way it is into eternity. Till the house falls apart, that's what we usually say. So that's what we're applying for the landmark.
Thank you very much.
Okay.
I do know your husband is,
Yeah, he's probably on the Zoom. We have 2 little ones, so one of us had to stay home.
no, would he like to share anything as well?
I second her sentiment. It's better that it stays quiet on this side. It's going a little.
All right, well, thank you very much. I would maybe ask if any of the members of the commission would like to ask questions of the 2 owners. Are there any questions?
Stacy was mentioning that you had done some additional work she showed us. Is there still more you're planning to do, or are you at the end of it?
For the main house, that's it. Yeah, we did all the cosmetics and cleaned the whole inside because it was really dirty. And I'm sure the house was never touched before on anything, like the carpets or everything was very original. So we just did the remodel and that's it. We're not planning on touching anything else.
It looks very nice.
Thank you.
Any additional questions, comments with the owners? Well, then, thank you very much.
Good, thank you.
And I don't believe there's anybody here in opposition.
It does not appear so.
Okay. Well, then have all those that would like to speak, they've all spoken. And so I guess at this point, we would ask if there's a motion to close the public participation.
Oh, so move.
Is there a second?
I have a question. Do we need to go over those emails that were sent at all?
So there were some comments received. One was a concern about how the structure had been remodeled. They properly processed for their permits, and you can see the before and after photos. So those were provided to us as a blue folder item. The other email had concerns about the site being utilized as a vacation rental, and then also an AC unit being installed and being noisy. We've been working with the owners regarding those concerns. The site is currently vacant and up for lease. So if it was at any point utilized for vacation rental, it's not now. And I believe their contractor is already working with the city for the mechanical permit for the AC. Those elements aren't under the purview of the Preservation Commission, and they don't affect the historic status, but we are working on those.
Yeah, I'll second the motion.
Okay. Are there any objections? Hearing none, so ordered. And now would be the time for commission discussion. Would any member of the commission like to comment?
Did have a question about the ADU and the timeline for that. So what is the timeline looking like for something like that?
Well, it processed with the planning division earlier this year with our senior planner, Antonio Gardea. I know it's in process with the building division. It looks from the permit database that they're close to obtaining permits. However, I don't believe they've been issued yet, right? So it would be a question, whenever the building division gives final approval and the contractor receives permits, then they'll be good to go. I don't know if Senior Planner Gardea has any input. I think you're on now.
I think you covered that pretty well. Just wanted to add that as far as the building division review, it's taking between 6 to 8 weeks for corrections to respond back and review the plans again. So We have a pretty tight time frame for accessory dwelling units, and we try and adhere to the state law when it comes to that.
I guess a follow-up question with that is, what is maybe is there an encroachment in the expansion onto the original property? I mean, it's currently as it stands, but does it interfere with the main building in any kind of fashion?
No, it doesn't.
It's required to have a 5-foot separation.
Okay,
Right.
okay.
I'm gonna tack on a question because it's regarding that also. So the ADU would never come before us.
That's
And
correct.
the planning commission, though, when they approve the plans, they're looking at the compatibility with the historic structure. They do consider that.
No, so Vice Chairman Suna, the accessory dwelling units have to be permitted ministerially. That means that there's not a discretionary action. It doesn't go before the planning commission for review. That's why it doesn't come to this body for review either. So it's done at a staff level. And so what we do is we make sure that that the building is in harmony and compatible with the potential historic resource. And that's kind of the limits of what we're allowed to do when it comes to accessory dwelling units.
I'm gonna ask another question. I think Stacy knows this one was coming because you mentioned it every time it came up in the presentation. It's about the screens. So when I saw the screens, I have a bungalow design resource book, and I poured through the book to see if there was anything similar, and there was not. There's never any sort of covering on the outside of the window. So my suggestion would be for that kind of privacy screen to be on the inside. Yeah, because I didn't find anything. At first I was thinking, oh, maybe like sort of a plantation shutter kind of look, but those are not present on bungalows either. So it would be just as bad from a historical point of view. So that would be my one recommendation.
So then the commission could deliberate regarding whether or not the group feels it's appropriate to add that condition of approval that the decorative privacy screens be removed from the exterior and placed on the interior of those bathrooms.
And then this is related, is the house next door to the west, is that a landmark structure also?
It is not.
Okay.
However, it is very similar,
Yeah.
different style of craftsman.
But yeah, I was just going to mention because they have tacked on the same kind of screen all across the side of that building, which doesn't look very nice either. So I would say the way that you guys did it looked nice. It's just not historic. The way they did it on the other side was just tacky. So if it's not a historic, then I guess we can't see anything about that.
Right, that's correct. That property has not come forward to you.
Okay.
May I speak?
Oh, the public hearing is closed.
Correct.
Sorry.
And I'd be inclined to support that as well, because it really did stand out. Yeah, especially because they had done such an amazing job on the house. You know, I hate to say that, but it looked so beautiful, and then you see that, and it stood out to me as being somewhat odd, and could be easily done on the interior. So, does any member of the commission have any thoughts on that as well, as far as incorporating that into a potential motion?
I would do it.
Support
Yeah.
that? Okay. Are there any final comments or questions? Well, hearing none, is there a motion to approve the staff recommendation with this condition that the exterior shade or privacy screen be done or placed on the interior?
I'll make that motion.
I'll second the motion.
Okay. And for this, should we do a roll call vote?
We sure can. Commissioner Aziz,
Aye.
Commissioner Galassi,
Aye.
Commissioner Jackson,
Aye.
Vice Chair Matsuno,
Aye.
Chair Caldwell.
Aye. Congratulations. Redondo Beach has another historic building.
Yep.
Okay, well, that brings us to item K, the items continued from previous agendas.
We do not have any continued items.
Okay, and then items for discussion prior to action,
There are no items tonight.
items from staff.
Nope, we don't have any further items.
Okay, and then commission items and referrals to staff. The only thing would be to identify who the seconder was on those last, is that a term, seconder? Yes, so we'll make that correction to the minutes and we'll bring that back next meeting. And if there are no other items for commission items and referrals to staff, then we shall adjourn.
Okay, I'll make a motion to adjourn.
I'll second.
All those in favor, say aye. Aye. Thank you very much.
Thank you.